good evening, and welcome to the Island Stats Football Show. I'm your host, Earl Basin. I'll soon be joined by my two co-hosts in Garrett Punchadill and Coach Keita. But let's run down the weekend's scores for you in the Premier Division on Friday night up at the PHC Stadium. It was PHC Zebras 2, Paget Lions 0. Up at the Somerset Cricket Club, it was Somerset Trojans 0, Hamilton Parish 2. Today, at Lords and St. David's, it was Crossroads 5, Dandytown Hornets 2. At Wellington Oval, it was St. George's Colts 1, Devonshire Cougars 3. At Bernard Park, it was the North Village Rams 1, Young Man Social Club 1. In First Division play, it was Wolves 0, Devonshire Colts 2. That match was at the Bernard Park. And at Lords and St. David's, it was St. David's 2, Robin Hood 0. We'll give you a rundown of the updated standings as it stands right now following the weekend's action. In the Premier Division, the North Village Rams lead with 22 points from 8 matches. Devonshire Cougars are in second with 18 points from 7 matches, and they are leading the PHC Zebras on goal difference and still have a game in hand because PHC has played 8 matches for their 18 points. Hamilton Parish moves swiftly up the leaderboard. They are in fourth with 13 points. The Paget Lions are steadily staying in the running. They have 12 points from 8 matches. Hamilton Parish have played 9 matches. Dandytown Hornets have 9 points, and they are in 6th place with those 9 points from 8 matches. Young Man Social Club, with their point today against North Village, also have 9 points from 8 matches. St. George's Colts have 8 points from 7 matches played. Then it's the Somerset Trojans on 5 points from 9 matches, and Crossroads have picked up 4 points from 9 matches. North Village remain undefeated. However, that draw changed their record from all wins to now 1 draw, with Crossroads picking up their first win of the season and close the gap to Somerset Trojans to 1 point and close the gap to St. George's Colts to 4 points. And then quickly run down the First Division. Devonshire Colts remain undefeated. They've played 8 matches and won all 8 matches, scoring 37 goals and conceding 9 for their 24 points. Robin Hood moved into second place on 15 points from 7 matches. Wolves are in third place with 14 points from 8 matches. Somerset Eagles are in fourth with 11 points from 7 matches. Southampton Rangers are in fifth with 10 points from 7 matches. Boulevard Blazers are in the next one, also have 10 points and from 7 matches. Vasco are on 9 points from 8 matches. St. David's are on 6 points from 8 matches. And Island Rangers are yet to pick up a win or a point in their 7 matches played, and they are yet to get off the mark. So let's double into again, we are waiting the co-host in Coach Keita and Punchy Dill. Yeah. We are waiting Coach Keita and Punchy Dill to join us. So on Friday night up at the PHC Stadium, it was the PHC Zebras closing the gap on the North Village Rams somewhat, meaning that North Village were off. They got 2 goals in the second half to see off a very spirited Paget Lions. They got a goal from Keyshawn Bean and Kadeem Abraham. And then, of course, we see Hamilton Parish continuing their surge up the table. They struggled at the beginning, but they seem to have put things right. And, of course, we'll get Coach Keita and Punchy's take on that. And we are going to be joined by Punchy Dill. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening, sir. Sorry for being late. I just come from down the field with all this talk. Oh, my gosh. God. We're going to show. Anyway, good evening.
We'll get to that North Village talk because that's one of those things. We were talking about the PHC pageant match. Obviously, that's a big rivalry. PHC were able to get 2 second-half goals to come away with 3 vital points to stay within reach of North Village and for that matter, Devonshire Cougars, who are surging.
That's right. Exactly. I just thought that I always thought that if I look at my prediction that PAC would win that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I go back to last year when I was saying about Pedges when the promotion, and these are the type of games on a Friday night. What's your plans? And I think these kind of games that need for them to easily get a point out of, or show that they're getting to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these kind of games that I think they're losing. And but Paget is going to have to understand, and I told with Antoine about to understand when you come into this league, you won the Shield. All right, you done very good. You got knocked out by Northridge in the FA Cup. You done good, but what do you do on Saturday evening against Somerset away from home? And I think that's what we're seeing about Paget right now. After the hoopla and everything, everybody's happy. Well, won this and done that. So what do you do against these nights against PHC? And it's showing. It's showing up. Okay. Yeah.
Definitely. And then also on Friday night up at Somerset Cricket Club, we can't say enough about Hamilton Parish. They have resurged. I mean, we were concerned about them early in the season, and rightly so. I mean, they struggled at the beginning, and but it looks as if they've turned it around. I mean, look at it. They probably lost, or they were really struggling. They had lost 4 matches. They had drawn 1, but now they've won 4 matches and they've jumped right up to 13 to 4th place with 13 points.
Yes, right. I always thought that once they get past what they have to do, with Hamilton Parish. Okay, well, they lost Jaden, who came to play for us, Jaden Otterbridge.
Yeah, Jordan Otterbridge.
Jordan Otterbridge was very. I mean, that's a big loss for me in terms of his quality. But with Sergio, I think the resurgence is come from just sticking to the plan and just staying. Okay, we're not looking at. We're not going to win the league. Well, they say I don't think they're going to win the league. No. But let's just try to rebuild this program from this point. Mm-hmm. When you're building a program, right, which Hamilton Parish is doing, then it's going to be bumps in the road. But then the resurgence, what I see is that I think they got quality. They definitely have quality, right? That's where they're at now. And I think they're not going to win the league. I'm sure that they won't. But the FA Cup, they're going to be very, in terms of. That's what I put an importance on that. When you get promoted, winning a cup or being close to it, that's important for what you're trying to develop. I think the resurgence is going to be okay.
Yeah, they turned their attention to Shield. Friendship next week, so that that's something that they can concentrate on over the Christmas period. Put all their league, whatever going through the league, but they also want to be healthy for the second half of the season as well, and not fall back into where they were before. But looking at a team like Somerset Trojans, they're second from the bottom. They only have the 1 win, and I believe that came over Crossroads. They have 5 points. They have 2 draws. A young team, but how does Jensen, work this out that they can squeak in another win and get themselves out of trouble?
That's a real difficult situation there. Remember I tell you, this so young team. What's the seniority in the team? I would think that when you have such a young team, you have to have the seniority in places in areas that matter. Then they're still very, very at the back. That's where you need the seniority that keeps the team organized, keeps the team, they're the backbone of the team. And I think Somerset don't have that right now. When you throw all these youngsters in the deep end, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem for them. And I think that's what we're witnessing now about Somerset. Good young players, Oh yeah. But what happens when this is a tough game? We need to just sit back take it easy, and especially when you're playing at home, right? Just make sure we get a draw. Just make sure we get a draw. Come out of this, and I think that's going to be a real problem for them. You're looking at they're on the bottom. I don't know when you look at the schedule. I know the coaching staff does that. When you start taking over, who we're going to beat, because we're going to be playing a lot of games away from home in the second half of the season, they're going to have a problem.
Coach, good evening. We're just here talking about the Friday night match between Hamilton Parish and the Somerset Trojans, and we were talking earlier about the resurgence of Hamilton Parish. Early in the season, we were concerned, but it looks as if they've turned it all around now, and four wins on the trot, got themselves into fourth place on 13 points. Although they played 9 games, they've got the points.
Yeah, I think that had to dig deep. I think they did some inward. I think they would have done some soul searching. They would have had some conversations with each other and say, guys, you know what, we have the talent. We can turn this around in our favor, and they had the opponents to do that. They had some people that they could kick while they were down, and that's what they've done. So the schedule worked in Hamilton Parish's favor for their resurgence. I don't really think they've taken any big scalps. But I think that they would have. I mean, I see the comment is thanks to Justin Bell. He would have probably been their marquee player this season. And if he's not carrying the team on his shoulders, and an assist and a goal Friday night, would bode well for them leaning forward. And they have other talents in the team. Just be mindful that they don't put all of the pressure on Justin.
Well, let's turn our attention to today because, Coach,
I'm not playing no more. I'm finished. I'm done. You don't even have to give my results. I'm done.
We got it wrong. Punchy got it right. Crossroads defeated the Dendytown Hornets 5-2 thanks to 4 goals from Donovan Thompson. He scored early. He scored often. And, he proved, to be a handful. But we go back and we talk about the Dendytown Hornets. What is going on? I mean, just think about it. They have given up a total of 16 goals and only scored 14. They've played 8 games and got 9 points. When was the last time you saw that? When was the last time you heard of that?
Is this for me?
Yeah.
It breaks my heart, dude. Because I did, in the beginning of the season, I had high hopes. I saw the individual talent that they had as well as who they had picked up. Again, the saving grace for me is that I think they have a plan in place for the future. It has to be. I can't imagine it's anything else. I have to feel that Coach Dankins is putting something in place for moving forward, for sustainability. And seeing where things are going wrong. I mean, 5-2 to a team who I don't even know have won a game at all this season. Yeah. That's a hard pill to swallow. And how do you come back from that? That would be my biggest concern, is how do you come back from that? And where does that put Dennytown in the table, right? That would be a concern as well. We can talk about losing the dressing room. We can talk about players down in tools, but the minute you start playing or not playing for the coach, it's a problem. Because you must always play for your badge. You must always play for your fans. The coach is just there as a tool to guide you. But the minute you give up playing, that's not. They can make it about the coach all they want. This is Bermuda.
Right.
It's not gonna get fired. It's either gonna have stepped on, because it's nobody sitting out there jumping at the bit to coach the team. And of course, I'm sure coaches are very real, and there's probably a lot of people that saying he should do this and they should do this and they should do that. Go take the job. and do. I still feel that they're going to turn it around. They gave me some hope the other day. I got excited, but it's just really unfortunate right now that that they're going through this process. And I know that they do have players away, and I'm hoping that Christmas, when those players come back, can kind of give them a little kick, so that they can kick on in the second half of the season.
And Punchy, let's look at Crossroads. They've struggled, but in the last few games, I mean, we've always talked about them giving up goals, but they're always able to score goals. And one way of winning games is to outscore your opponents. And today they did just that. They gave up 2 goals, taking their total to 27, but now they're in double digits. They've scored 11. And Donovan Thompson would have a bulk of those goals himself. So now that they've got this first league win under the belt, how does that bode well for Gumbo and his team?
Yeah, that's good. That was a good moral booster, for them. I went watch last week when they lost the Social Club. They made one mistake at the back, and they were made to pay. But I always think that it's Gumbo will fix that if he understands the fact that he took today's game against Dennytown. They're not really. I don't know what's going on with Dennytown, but they're beatable by a lot of times.
You're right.
And so for Crossroads, I think that scoring 5 goals to do it's definitely helps with the morale of there. They're not going to give up. They're very their community, what they're building down there. It's a thing it's progress. And I think what's going to happen there is that it's going to take a couple of years for Gumbo, if he stays at home, to build what he wants to do. Donovan Thompson, wow, I'm surprised he moved on for whatever reason. But it's a work in progress for them. With Gumbo his first year in that, what he's got to work with.
Right.
But I work with a few guys that I work with a guy that actually plays for Crossroads, and he's always asking me, "What do you think?" They say, "I say, listen, you're not gonna stay in this league if you don't learn how to win and defend and win ugly." So whatever the result shows, that they can score goals, of course, but in the other game, let's say the next game, what do they do? Because they're gonna play away from home. So they have to. The Gumbo's got to make sure that this victory is a booster for him, morale booster. And I was, I think I had them for relegation, but I think they're gonna be okay. I think they're not gonna be relegated. That's my.
A lot of work to do. They've made it difficult for themselves.
I don't think we'll be relegated. I think so. Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna take that place.
I think. I'm going to say this. We'll talk about North Village and Social Club afterwards anyway. Yeah.
All right. Let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk that match. North Village, the league leaders, taking on Young Men's Social Club. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this? Better Than Bouillon is an oft-featured organic food producer who believed that great recipes begin with great ingredients. This judiciously named brand is aimed directly at the primary stages of meal preparation in the kitchen, replacing traditional bouillon cubes and the like with bases made from organically produced meat and vegetables, resulting in a higher level of purity and a more robust flavor. This month we're featuring Better Than Bouillon organic bases, made with roasted beef or chicken or seasoned vegetables. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
How you doing? It's Coach Bascom here. Listen, I just want to introduce, to let you know that, guess what? Oh yeah, I've been endorsing salt. Now, you know what this is for, right? Yep. Smelly shoes. You know, those days that you're coming back from training, sneakers. Yep, you stop, you know, you're sitting them in your house, you got them in your room, and you got them in your closet, and you know, you're getting that smell come through. Well, this is what it's for. Excited about it, excited to promote because I believe in it, because I know when I was playing outdoors especially, this is definitely what I needed. Hey, even look at the packaging. Very, very professional company, done on so much work, yeah, with the material, with the bag. Listen, I'm excited about it. Glad to be a partner with them. Glad to be endorsing this product, yeah. And here we go. Get your bag.
You're muted, Earl. Dr. Van Shoe.
I don't see him.
Hi, Dr. Van Shoe.
What happened to him? There he goes.
There we go.
Yeah.
There he goes.
And welcome back. Sorry about that. Technical problem. like North Village today, a technical problem.
Sure.
Good point.
So let's actually talk about that the North Village Young Men's Social Club game. Obviously, everybody knows North Village has been on a high. They've been undefeated. They've won the first 7 matches on the trot. They've picked up a trophy already. Actually, 2 trophies already. They come against a social club team, you know, who's looking to make a name for themselves in this division. And, you know, social club take a 1-0 lead right on the stroke of halftime. Village equalized in the second half, but just couldn't find that winner. We've been saying, and I've been saying all season, that North Village has found a way to win the games they needed to win in the league to keep them undefeated. They've got the point to make sure that they stayed undefeated. But Punchy, you would have seen it. Take us through what you think, what North Village lacked today.
Okay. I'm very glad you called me up for some of this. There's quite a bit of things I got to say about this. Anyway, okay. So Kenny now has got to figure out what he's going to do in terms of all these players he had at his disposal. I just thought that they were very slow in their approach today. They were lethargic. They were kind of like cruising. Then let me pick this up. So Troy Tucker's come back to play for us, right? Mm-hmm. I think it's Troy Tucker, yeah, from Bulls, yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And then there was also the young man that came, Keyshawn Bean, I think. Keyshawn, the fullback. Yeah, right. So we had 2 additions. Now, there's a couple of things I got to say about that. When you play Troy Tucker alongside with Trey Mean, that means the holding players, right? Troy Tucker didn't make no runs today. He looked really out of it. I don't know how long he's been on the game for a while. So my thing is like, whoa, this ain't working. I can see that right away. Also the execution of like how they played the game plan. They were too slow against social club. They were too slow, too predictable. You know, social at times are putting up a block. The coach, I heard social talk, get behind the ball. So I thought they were too predictable and they were too slow. Then again, getting back to Trey Mean and Mr. Tucker playing together, which one goes and which one stays? So I think Trey Mean should have been forward more, and Troy, because he's lacking in terms of game time. He didn't win a lot of 50-50 balls. He was his passing, like if I were to quote him, maybe his passing was maybe 65% because he looked a little bit tired. Then there's other things too. The young man that's been scoring. That's been scoring a lot of goals for us. That's I think the low genius. I only use that terminology anyway. Yeah, he's playing too far from. He's playing too far from. He's making. He's like. Can you imagine Phil Foden playing in the middle? Like he's playing too far back. In the beginning of the season, Kenny had him playing higher. So so right now he's playing. So you got Troy, Trey. They all make the same type of passes. The safe passes. So what you got? This is my personal opinion again. So what you got this young man doing? He's 16 years old. He don't drive at people no more. You see him making a safe pass. Okay, he makes it. But that's easy for teams, even like Social Club. So my point is that this is where Kenny, this is where coaching comes in. Can Kenny figure this out? With all he has at his disposal, what do you do with this little young man that scores so to go? He's first touch is good, but then against Social Club, he looked like, well, you can make a safe pass, that's cool. I think Kenny's got to really come up with a solution in terms of when you have all these people, again, repeating myself, what do you do? That young man's got to be up around the goal. It's like the Odegaard for Arsenal. If you look at Arsenal and I'm making a comparison, sir. That young man's got to be like that. He's always got to be up where he's up around the goal. He makes these intricate passes. He's really capable, but he's playing too far back. And if I was playing against, I was like, yeah, keep him outside, keep him away from goal. Right. And that's what I saw today. And
did he play 90 minutes? Did he play 90 minutes?
Oh yeah, he played 90 minutes. But he was still ineffective. So in the last 10 or 15 minutes, Kenny threw him hard and played him on the left wing. It was too late. He's not a left winger. That's what I'm saying. Getting back to that, what I saw today. You got all these players at disposal. What do you do? And that's going to be Kenny's dilemma because we needed to. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So, I just think that they were really poor in terms of how the application, and they gave the ball away too much. I mean, Social Club worked hard. And before I end on this, sir, I watched the Tottenham and the Newcastle game. The first 25 minutes, Tottenham were at them. Like, it ain't no script. It's always at them. And so I would thought that this is what I was expecting from North Village today. The same concept. Adam, once we get 2 or 3 goals up, we're going to win this game. We didn't see it from North Village. They were too pragmatic. They were just like, wow, this is supposed to have what's supposed to be. I got to give kudos to Social Club. They worked hard. They were let me tell you something. They could have won that game today. They could have won that game today. That's right.
Coach, would you, well, looking at it from a Social Club standpoint, they're now on 9 points. Would you consider this a big morale booster and possibly a win for the club, although it was a draw?
Yeah, I mean, Social Club beat PAC. Drew with St. George's, and now they're drawing with North Village. Absolutely. Someone would have done their homework. North Village, smaller field. Understanding the qualities of Dayon. In Dayon's defense, he played 90 minutes at 6 o'clock last night for Barclay against MSA, which wasn't a pushover. MSA boys went hard for 90 minutes as well. And Dayon worked hard. Two 90-minute. That's why I asked, did he play 90 minutes? 2 90-minute matches in less than 24 hours is taxing on anybody's body.
Right.
So, and the fact that he is young, that's okay. But his legs would have definitely have been somewhat heavy, and that plays a part. But Social Club would look at these games that they are picking up points from teams that people would have counted them out. I can guarantee you all 3 of us picked North Village, and anybody else would have picked North Village to win. But again, the game is won on the field. Games was won on paper. Anytime will probably be on top of the table. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand that football is played on the field and it's played on the day. And Social Club's just not giving teams respect just because you're North Village. Like, if you're gonna beat me, you're gonna beat me. We're gonna come out here and play this game just as hard as you're gonna play it. And you know what I mean? And they're picking up these results. And I think it's great. I think it's great for a social club where many people would have counted them out the minute they got promoted, because they got promoted as the second place team, and people would have said, yeah, these are gonna be the whipping boys. So kudos to the coach and his players. And they're obviously in a happy and a good space. They understand their objectives. They know what this season is about. Obviously, it's about survival, and we grow from that. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to more from Social Club.
Yeah.
But Earl and Keita, I want to add to that, Keita, what you're saying about what I saw about Social Club today. You know, not a whole lot. Let's come to players that they have, like tactical good players, right? But what I was happy about is the work ethic. Their work ethic was unbelievable. It was like, whoa. Even if they kicked it, they just worked. And they shut down players. They worked. And I was thinking, because I have a conversation with people, they always ask me, okay, what do you think about Crossroads? If your work ethic, even if you got the talent, but then put in the work ethic and see where it takes you. And I think that's what I witnessed from Social Club today. The work ethic was tremendous. They was never give up. And then they got somebody playing the goal. They ain't got a recognized goalkeeper. But I think what they did before the shots were even taken by North Village, the work ethic, they worked hard. And I'm telling you, that's a good, for me, at least it's a good philosophy for what they're trying to achieve there at Social Club now.
Yeah, definitely. And the last Premier Division game of the weekend, it was St. George's Colts 1, Devonshire Cougars 3. Devonshire Cougars took the lead on the stroke of halftime. John Simmons scored, and then John Tay Smith equalized in the second half for St. George's, and then two late goals from Devonshire Cougars earned them the 3 points. And they continue their surge because they have North Village in their sights. They have a game in hand. If they win that game in hand, they can close the gap to 1 point following North Village's draw. They're tied on points with PHC. But looking at Devonshire Cougars, coach, I mean, they're running on all cylinders. Their only defeat was that one to North Village.
Yeah, I mean, we've always had Cougars up there and in the runnings, and I think that they have a great group of players who are playing as a team. When they show up, they show up to play, and I still think Dandy Tom's going to beat them, but that's a game in hand, right? My hope is on Danny Tom finding their feet by the time they play. But no, Cougars is doing what Cougars do. They've been the most consistent team probably for the past 2 seasons, and at times they just come up a little bit short, but they're having a fantastic season. And they're scoring a lot of goals. They're not just winning; like, they're scoring goals. And so I think they have found their nucleus of players that is going to carry them through, bar any injuries. But I think that's what's working in Cougars' favor right now is that Kwame has found his team and his players, and everybody understands what is happening there and understands the role that they play in the team. So that's what's going to carry them through the rest of this season. They're playing attractive football. It's not like they're scrapping. They're playing good football, and they're always gonna. You have D'Amico Connington in your team. You always can expect he's just a special talent, and he has been like his entire footballing life. And so scoring goals is he's a danger player still within that group, and so that bodes well for Cougars because they do have a group of players that's been playing together for a while now. So they know each other.
Yeah, and Punchy, St. George's struggles continue now. They're at the wrong end of the table, third from the bottom. They have 8 points. This will be their third loss. They've only got 2 wins, 2 draws, but they've only played the 7 games. They have 2 games in hand, but they need a confidence booster. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for sure. There's a lot wrong going on with St. George's. I think there's first of all, right, I watched them when they play against North Village at home. They win the game, but there's still a lack of, when you miss the 2 twin boys, right?
The whole,
That connection, yeah, right. Okay, the whole boys, right? So that connection. John Taylor's just coming back. He's not fit. I don't think he's fully fit. He struggles with his fitness, and there's still then you're missing the signal boys at the back. Then bless his soul with I'm not saying the goalkeeping department is at stake, but they are just too open, and they have to come up with a concept. I think in St. George's to say, look, we don't have this at our disposal. No, we're not good at the back, and especially down the spine of the team, right? What do we do? You know, does St. George still want to play attractive football and lose because they're losing? So what I'm thinking, they will do the same thing what Social Club done today. It's not ugly football, but it's survival football. And that would mean that St. George have to come up with a concept of stop leaking goals. I'm seeing a play some very attractive football. The concept is that, okay, we want to change the mentality down here, how we play football, constructive football, but you're losing. So what you're going to do next? What is you got the A plan. What's the B plan when you're losing? And I'm losing because I think they're too open. They have to do what I thought Social Club do. Be very constructive, be very organized, be hard to beat, which I told you last year about Paget. When they come against these games on a Friday night, they're going to lose because they're not. I still think that too many teams are like Paget, St. George's, in the crisis that they're going through. They have to give us a good defensive plan. How do you stop goals going in? What do you do? And St. George's are just looking like they don't have a plan. They don't have a plan B to stop goals going in. And that's what I think that's what the problem is. They don't have a plan B for that. The defensive behaviors are just too poor right now.
Definitely. Yeah, I was just going to mention, Ernest Signal did come on at halftime, but still not enough.
Not enough.
They need to do some soul searching right now and get themselves together. Yeah. So we're going to take our second commercial break. When we come back, we'll look at the first division, also our picks and the picks coming up, and player of the week. We'll be right back.
Better Than Bouillon is an oft-featured organic food producer who believes that great recipes begin with great ingredients. This judiciously named brand is aimed directly at the primary stages of meal preparation in the kitchen, replacing traditional bouillon cubes and the like with bases made from organically produced meat and vegetables, resulting in a higher level of purity and a more robust flavor. This month we're featuring Better Than Bouillon organic bases, made with roasted beef or chicken or seasoned vegetables. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
How you doing? It's Coach Bascom here. Listen, I just want to introduce, to let you know that, guess what? Oh yeah, I've been endorsing salt. Now, you know what this is for, right? Yep. Smelly shoes. You know, those days that you're coming back from training, sneakers. Yep, you start, you're sitting them in your house, you got them in your room, and you got them in your closet, and you're getting that smell come through. Well, this is what it's for. Excited about it, excited to promote because I believe in it, because I know when I was playing outdoors especially, this is definitely what I needed. Hey, even look at the packaging. Very, very professional company, done on so much work, with the material, with the bag. Listen, I'm excited about it. Glad to be a partner with them. Glad to be endorsing this product. Yeah. And here we go. Get your bag.
Better Than Bouillon is an oft-featured organic food producer who believe that great recipes begin with great ingredients. This judiciously named brand is aimed directly at the primary stages of meal preparation in the kitchen, replacing traditional bouillon cubes and the like with bases made from organically produced meat and vegetables.
And then commercials keep messing you up. We see you. It just muted.
It's muted, yeah.
There you go.
Lot of technical issues.
Yeah,
Things
yeah,
to
I
get
know.
sorted out. A lot of bugs. But welcome back. Welcome back. In the first division, obviously, Devonshire Colts seem to be running away with that division. They defeated Wolves today at Bernard Park 2-0. They've played 8 games, got the 8 wins, 37 goals for 9 goals against, 24 points, goal difference of 27. Wolves were in second, playing 8 games, won 4, drawn 2, lost now 2, and 16 goals for 8 against, 14 points. But just Devonshire Colts just showing in this season that they are the team to beat in the first division. Looking at a team like Devonshire Colts, Punchy, obviously Ray has a young team, and I think the balance for him or Devonshire Colts in the last few years is that they keep getting youngsters into the team. Then they're in the first division, they dominate, but when they go to the Premier Division, they don't have enough what would I say, seniority and players of the quality to keep them in the Premier Division.
Yeah, I spoke with Ray Jones today about that. A good point too, Earl, about the expectations, because you're running away with the league. They're going to run away with it, of course. But I said, Ray, are you planning for next year? Just like the same conversation with Antoine Russell. On a Saturday evening, or 8 o'clock, you're going to go play against Somerset, or you're going to go play against Cougars. Are you preparing your players for the next challenge? And then, with Ray having young players like that and being successful, but then who goes away to school? And then you're going to lose some players. So what? It's a job. You got to be thinking ahead about that, and that's why I said to Ray, you got to be thinking ahead. Sustainability, I would call it. Like, okay, we're coming to the league. All we want to do is sustain ourselves, and that's what I told with Ray. Well, let's really put it down to the brass. Let's say, Devonshire Colts is not supposed to lose against, even if they go away to play against Island Rangers or some Eagles. They're not going to lose. So I'm thinking, Ray, already you're going to get ready for the next year. I say I don't want to think outside the box too far forward, but you got to understand this, sir, especially in Bermuda, that this is what you're going to come against, these challenges. And so I think with what they have, the rebuilding that program again, and they another team that's really a conversation, something to talk about. Teams like Devonshire Colts, what's happening with Somerset, and what's going to with Paget. Look where Paget are now. And I had the conversation with Antoine last year. What would you do on the Saturday afternoons, Saturday evenings when you got these games? And so I think it's showing up now. They, okay, well, now you're against PHC, you're 5th or 6th, and you're continuously dropping. And so it's not going to get better. It's going to be harder because the mentality of a lot of players in Bermuda. Once you start doing, what do you do to stop the goals going in? What do you do? And I think that's what I talked to Ray Jones about. You're going to start thinking already about next year.
Yeah. And Coach, obviously Wolves made a resurgent effort to get to the top half of the standings. They were in second going into today. They're in third now. They actually have a 3-point lead over Somerset Eagles, who have a game in hand. Robin Hood has a game in hand, and they're on 15 points. But to still be in this battle, we saw Wolves last season just miss out on promotion. They've gotten themselves back into what could be considered a promotion race early in the first half of the season, or we're coming to the end of the first half of the season. But they put themselves there. That must. I mean, we talk about sometimes they're not organized. They but they seem to put themselves in the mix each time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Wolves have to beat or be able to compete against the Devonshire Colts if they want to be promoted. So that's their ceiling right now. That is the team that they must try to compete with, to test if they're going to be ready to be promoted. They got so close, and then they must think to themselves, "Wow, another season where we're like they had to have thought after last season being so close and not get any promotion that like this season we have to kick on from whatever we were doing last season." But to be honest, if we look at them as being inconsistent, but they're actually consistent. Like they're consistent. This is consistent Wolves, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's an oxymoron. They're inconsistently consistent, but I would hope that they are able to push on, and Colts have been free scoring, and to hold them to 2 goals, that says something. But again, Wolves would need to see what it is, or look at where they're lacking. What areas are they lacking in that's causing them to drop points in games when they really shouldn't drop points?
Definitely. Well, there we are. Let's take a look at our picks from last week. Actually, we're going to go back 2 weeks because we missed last week's show.
We don't really have to talk about it, but did you guys already talk about Robin Hood and St. David's?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
I mean, we don't have to.
I did forget that match. We're still missing 2 games. I was waiting for that. I want to remind you.
I'm sorry, Robin Hood. I'm sorry, St. David's. Yes. Robin Hood went to Lords and defeated St. David's 6-2.
Yes, they did.
Plenty of goals. Robin Hood has had some time off. They had been replaced in second place by a team like Wolves, and now they've regained that second place, and they're looking for promotion right back as well. Looking at a team like Robin Hood who have picked up so many players, Coach, what do you say about them?
Similar situation to Devonshire Colts. Robin Hood, you were in the Premier Division last year as well as Colts and whatever. Again, they have this success at this level, and they will. You know what I mean? These are young boys. These are hungry. They want to be out there playing and running around. They're in better shape. Some are still in high school, what have you. So Robin Hood is definitely it's a team that's going to do well in this division. But again, it's their sustainability once they move up. And one thing they do is they'll lose and then they'll figure it out and they come right back. I anticipate that they're not going to give up that second spot anytime soon, and especially with Christmas now and players coming back, being here for a little bit, will help them to get more points. But again, it's how do they prepare for next season? Should they get promoted?
Right. And Punchy St. David's, you've said it for a time. They won those first 2 games. Now they've lost 6 on a trot. They've given up 25 goals. I mean, they're heading in the wrong direction, even though they picked up a player like Keyshawn Bean.
Good point. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but that one player is not going to make a difference. I think Keyshawn may be going to coaching and playing like Gumbo. I don't know if it's doing on the accent play because he lives in St. David's now. So, but
Right.
that's not going to fix the problem right away. That ain't gonna fix that problem. I think Keyshawn probably should help out with the coaching. Maybe he'll be a coaching, assistant coach, and player. And then he could do that. And then maybe try to get some other players coming on, or some older players coming on and help him out. But don't forget what I said about St. David's, about what they are about. Are they what kind of club are they? What are they interested in doing? I think what we have to look at in terms of this is that they are a club, cricket Premier first. That's first.
Mhm.
Let's be honest about this, sir. Then what are they? A community club. They're a community club that have coaches that go get coaching badges, but
Mhm.
I think they just want to be representative in that division right now. That's all.
Right.
And Keyshawn is just an added bonus, his name and everything. Oh, he comes under, he plays for us. But I don't think they're thinking about the fact of where they're going. And so the real being realistic about this whole situation. St. David's is going to be what they are. And I think
Mhm.
that's what's going to happen to them. I hope in hindsight they will see that when we spoke to Aaron Lugo and speaking about what they are, just have a good junior program.
Mhm.
Just have a good
Mhm.
junior program. See what you're going to do with the players that you have, and be happy that you're in the league. Because imagine if you were getting demoted. Imagine we getting demoted from the second division, and they're sending you down to some other league.
Right.
But that's
Right.
that's the thing about it. Imagine if you had to just say, "Hey, no, you're gonna get demoted." So you understand what I'm saying here? There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them to think about. In fact, okay, well, we'll be in the league next year.
Mm.
But imagine if they were to get demoted down to whatever the third league in Bermuda, which we don't have.
Right. We
And
used to.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's something to think about also.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's jump into our picks. Let's go back a week, and because we didn't come on, but it was the Somerset Trojans and North Village. We know that North Village won that match 2-1. We all took North Village for that match. The St. George's Paget match was not played. We all took St. George's. We probably have to look at that another time when those two teams meet again. PHC and Crossroads, we know that PHC won that match 2-1. We all took PHC. Social Club in Hamilton Parish. Myself and Keita took Parish, and Punchy, you took Social Club. And we know Parish won that match 4-0. And the match between Dandytown and Devonshire Cougars was not played as well. Island Rangers and Wolves, we all took Wolves. Wolves won that match 4-0. Vasco and Southampton Rangers. We all took, you and I, Punchy, took Southampton Rangers. Coach Keita took a draw, and Southampton Rangers won that match 4-3. Devonshire Colts and Boulevard, we all took Devonshire Colts, and Devonshire Colts defeated Boulevard 4-0. And we all took Somerset Eagles in their 3-2 win over St. David's. So the points went, I got 7, Punchy, you got 6, and Coach Keita got 6. I moved on to 45. Punchy, you're on to 44, and Coach Keita on to 44. Now, this week, Friday night, we all took PHC, and they defeated Paget Lions 2-0. We all took Parish, who defeated Somerset Trojans 2-0. Today, we all took Devonshire Cougars to beat St. George's Colts, and they did just that, 3-1. We all took North Village Rams to defeat Social Club, and we knew that ended in a draw, so no one got a point in that. Crossroads and Dandytown. Myself and Coach Keita took Dandytown. Punchy, you took Crossroads, and Crossroads won that game 5-2. Wolves and Devonshire Colts, we all took Devonshire Colts. Devonshire Colts won that match 2-0. And of course, Robin Hood and St. David's, we all took Robin Hood, and Robin Hood defeated St. David's 6-2. So far with the points, I got 5, moving me on to 50. Punchy, you got 6, moving you on to 50. And Coach Keita got 5, moving on to 49. Now, this weekend coming up, Punchy, it is Shield and Friendship quarterfinal matches. So let's do the Shield first, and you can go first on this one. St. David's versus Southampton Rangers.
Southampton Rangers.
Okay, and I'm going to take Rangers as well for this one. And the next one, I will go first. It's Devonshire Colts against Robin Hood. I believe Devonshire Colts would have just enough firepower to edge out Robin Hood for this match. Your thoughts?
I'm with you with that, Earl. I think Devonshire Colts, on this role that they're in, speaking to Coach Ray Jones, I think I think, yeah, they just got enough. Even if they're younger players, I think they're gonna win this game.
Somerset Eagles and Wolves, Punchy.
Wolves.
Yeah, I think despite their loss today, they think they will have enough to get over Somerset Eagles.
Yes.
And the last Shield quarterfinal match is Boulevard Blazers and Ireland Rangers, and I've taken Boulevard.
Oh, I'm gonna take Boulevard also in that. I think Ireland Rangers, just like I said before, they're just another club like now what they used to have, like St. David's. They just compete. So I'm taking Boulevard on this, definitely.
Okay. Welcome back, Coach Kia.
My apologies.
We're doing picks. So, well, let me just let you know.
Guys, I'm in.
Punchy and I have 50. You have 49. So we're all in there. So don't worry about it.
I still don't want to play no more. And I didn't call Manny in advance. So.
Oh, well, that's what you got off to do, Cole Manny. So we've already picked the Shield matches. So St. David's and Southampton Rangers.
Southampton Rangers.
Devonshire Colts and Robin Hood.
Devonshire Colts.
Somerset Eagles, Wolves.
Wolves. They'll bounce back.
And Ireland Rangers and Boulevard Blazers.
Boulevard.
Okay, so we all have picked the same 4 for the
Shield.
Now, Punchy, you're up first for this first match in the quarterfinal, and it came out in this order: North Village Rams, Devonshire Cougars.
Where's the game, too, Earl?
They haven't sent out where the games are yet.
Oh wow, that's a tough one. Oh my God! Listen, in today's performance by North Village, I hope Kenny can fix this situation. What we talked about, this midfield trio with having what's his name, Tucker come back, right? I mean, he's come back, but he looks he didn't look really comfortable today at all. This is gonna be a tough one.
When's the game?
Sunday. Motocross next week.
Sunday, great. But where's the venue?
They haven't selected them yet.
Oh, okay. Sunday. It's gonna be a tough one, though.
It could be Friday, it could be Saturday, it could be Sunday. It's just this weekend.
Just this weekend, okay. What I saw today, I hope Kenny fixes this, sir. This is gonna be a real difficult choice. I want to put my heart with North Village, but I think because we're talking about getting these 5 cups this year, this is only whatever. But I don't know. I'm gonna go against them today. I'm going against them on this one. I think I'm gonna pick Cougars on this one. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, Coach.
Yeah, that's just a tricky one. I think that as well as Village have been playing, Cougars are probably in better form. I think Cougars are probably in better form. I'm gonna go with Cougars as well.
I'm actually gonna take North Village. You know why? They've done enough to do everything right so far this season. Today they still haven't lost, so I'm gonna take them because they figure a way how not to lose, and it's a cup game, so I'm gonna take North Village. All right, Coach. Paget Lions, PHC Zebras.
PHC is gonna do the double. PHC will do the double.
All right, and I'm taking Zebras as well. Punchy?
I'm taking Zebras. I don't think what happened, what I'm saying about Paget in terms of where they are and how they're slowly sliding. Can Antoine fix that? I don't think you can. Not against PHC.
Yeah.
It won't. I'm picking PHC to win this game.
Okay. Young Man Social Club and Somerset Trojans. I'm taking Social Club. Punchy?
That's a hard one. I want. There's no venue for the game, so I'm gonna see tradition-wise. I'm gonna pick Somerset on this.
Okay. Cup game, Trojans.
I'm picking Somerset anyway. Somerset's gonna win it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Punchy, last one. St. George's Colts versus Hamilton Parish.
Hamilton Parish. Hamilton Parish. The coaching staff at St. George has got to fix this decline. What's happening with them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking Hamilton Parish for this.
Mm-hmm. Coach?
Whew. My heart saying St. George's, my head saying Hamilton Pass, right? Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Peppers. I think that again they're finding their feet, and in the league match, if not for Lurin open net miss and a few other things, I think they would have probably beat St. George's at that time as well. So I'm gonna go with Hamilton Parish.
All right. I know a lot of people are now leaning in just to make sure they hear me say this correctly. I'm going to go with Hamilton Parish as well because on current form, they are the team to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the team to beat. So I'm going to go with Hamilton Parish on that. We are starting the player of the week, the Gosling's player of the week again, and we will start this week. Yes, Pappers, of course. Someone saying Pappers already. So yes, Pappers. So let's talk about performances this weekend. Obviously, in the PHC win, you had a girl from Keyshawn Bean, you had a girl from Keyshawn Bean, and a girl from Kadeem Abraham to beat Paget 2-0. And then obviously Keon Knights and Justin Bell scored for Hamilton Parish in their 2-0 win over Somerset Trojans. Obviously today, Donovan Thompson, 4 goals in leading Crossroads to that 5-2 victory over the Dandytown Hornets. We also had the 1-1 draw with Ryan Parrish scoring for Young Men Social Club and Adio DeShield scoring for North Village Rams. Lee John Simmons, D'Amico Cuttington, and Jory Fox scoring for Devonshire Cougars, and Jonte Smith scoring for St. George's. That was the Premier Division players. In First Division, obviously, Devonshire Colts got a goal from Sage Blair Painter and Shamal Henry. And for St. David's and Robin Hood, just get the goal scores here. You had Christian Lugo Ouchbox got 2 for St. David's. Jerron Dickinson got 2 for Robin Hood, with goals from Clay Darrell, Mackay Simmons, and 2 others. So we'll start with you, Coach. Who would you say, obviously, did everybody be leaning towards Donovan Thompson for his 4 goals, but who would you consider player of the week?
That would definitely be my pick. First man, a big name team at 4 goals. I don't think we've had too many 4-goal holes this season. And that's 4 crucial goals. In a match that everybody would have had Dandytown to win. So my pick would be Donovan.
Okay. Punchy, what about you?
Likewise, Donovan Thompson. The month after he's how many teams he can go and play for, but he's a goal scorer. He's definitely a goal scorer. He's playing for a team that's down where they are, but he still comes up with the goods, and I'm glad for them because having Gumbo come down there and trying to fix what's been wrong for them for a couple of years. But I'm definitely picking Donovan Thompson for this.
Okay. And we might as well announce that Donovan Thompson is the Gosling's Player of the Week for this week, and we will have a presentation with him at Gosling's in the very near future. And we look forward to announcing Players of the Week from here on in. It'd be remiss of us if we let you go before, Coach. Obviously, you've had some time to consider, what happened in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Tough. It's been a tough week, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a tough week in the but in the grand scheme of things, this is part of our process. We want to see how far we would get, and we've had a successful year regardless of Tuesday's result. Obviously, very disappointed, but we do know what we have to work with. We do know that this team can get stronger, and will get stronger. The players understand the process, and they know that this is a tournament that's every year. We are, I think, our under 15 girls are the next ones in tournament, but outside of that, we're the next team in tournament. So we take a little bit of a break, and then we get right back at it. Open up the training pool, and we go again. Then we now start our next book. So that book's closed. 2023 was a very good year for us. Coach and staff, we see where we need to make improvements on and off the pitch. There's some things that, as the coaches, we have to work through as well. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't. But at the end of the day, this is an amazing group. It's an amazing group of people, players and staff, and we know what it is that we have to do for the next run. So don't stay in it for long. We hurt Tuesday night into Wednesday, into Thursday. By Friday, everybody besides 85% of my team having the flu, which obviously was starting to creep into us on game night. But it is what it is, man. We know we've made the country proud. We know we had everybody behind us, and everybody would have been a bit disappointed and hurt by it. But you know what? At the end of the day, we get back up on that horse and we go again.
Hey, Coach, Earl and Coach, I want to ask you a question. I've been asking so many people about this, our country in the South. Let's go back to the cricket team. The cricket team, crunch game, and they lost to Canada. Let's go back. That's number one. Let's go back to the men's national team, crunch game against French Guiana, 2, and your crunch game against Dominican Republic. I've asked around and said, so what is our problem? Why when I just want to answer to this, is maybe you all can coach about, when you look at those 3 situations, right? We've come out on the losing end. Is it because we're not properly prepared? You don't have time to work with them, Coach? We're first a small country, but it seems that when we get in the crunch times, there's 2 questions I'm going to ask. I want to answer. Okay. Should we have been in that crunch time? Should we have already been clear of that? And what do we do when we're in these crunch situations? And just asking you both opinion about that. And we're looking at 3 scenarios.
Absolutely not. We play the games. I mean, I can speak for the women's team. I'm not going to be able to speak for the men. I'm not going to be able to speak for cricket. But we played against a motivated opponent who needed to win. And we felt that we had the best team. We felt that we had the team that could go out to get what we needed was a draw. But at the end of the day, it was a bad day at the office. We never found our feet. They did their homework. They had to win. They played 6 on the back. So we had the players to actually go at them. But they played the better game. They played the better game on the night for most of the time. And in the end, that was the reason for the result. So it wasn't as if we set out to play for a draw. We actually never even mentioned that we only needed a draw. I'm sure the players would have known that, but we never mentioned that. We set out to win the game. But at the end of the day, it's not a mental thing that we're in a crunch match and we don't have a winning mentality. It was we went out on the field to win the game and things just didn't go the way that we planned. It was moments that we didn't play to the strengths. I had players on the bench that I wanted to bring into the match, but we weren't playing to their strengths. And a lot of that was dictated by the opponent. You can plan and prepare as much as you would like, but then once you get into the match, the opponent, the surface, they can dictate as well what your outcome is going to be. And so, at the end of the day, I don't think it's, oh no, we're in this crunch and we're not ready for this crunch match. Because I can tell you that the girls were ready. They were ready. They were pumped for it. There's little pieces and little things that can creep into teams that sometimes players get in their heads. It could be anything from team selection, from not feeling well, from slight changes in teams, little things that can offset. But at the end of the day, we all had the same goal, and our goal was to actually win the match. But on the day, it just didn't happen.
Okay. And
Let me add something to that. You mentioned cricket, you mentioned football, both male and female. If you recall, other than the men did not beat French Guiana, but you had 3 nations, much bigger than us, upset with the result that they first got against us. And they wanted to come back and prove that how bigger and better they are.
Right.
That's not an excuse. It's just that when we do well, and then we get down to that crunch time, I think because we're not always in that position, because we're always the underdog. I think sometimes it gets to, especially in a team event, it gets to some people, and things just don't fall into place. The pressure of us now having to, if we go into a game, must win. First game we wanted to, obviously the first game we played Dominican Republic in Bermuda, Coach, you said you wanted to win it, and the girls went out and just done that. Dominican they weren't ready for that, but they knew. If you look at all the results after that, they were preparing for this battle that they had on Tuesday night. Same thing we watched in the cricket with Canada. Canada lost to Bermuda the first game, and they had us last, and they focused in on every match, was geared up to that match. And so was French Guiana and the man. But, putting ourselves in these positions, we just got to get in those positions a little more, and I think we'll start to see ourselves come out on the other side.
And remember too, our game not being played on the Friday, and finding out late on Thursday, that's a whole mindset shift for these players. And I honestly, wholeheartedly believe if we played on Friday, the result would have been different on Tuesday.
And the point is to bring this conversation up, to have this conversation about that particular part of our game. Is it mental? Are we lacking preparation? More preparation for these incidents? Because Earl, added to what you said about being in these predicaments where this last game matters, and how many players have been in those predicaments over and over again. And I think that I'm just putting this out for people, and I talked to so many people about that, and I think you touched on it, and Keita touched on it. Being in this predicament where this last game matters, everything matters, and we're not coming out on top. And my concern, my question is, again, you've all touched on this with so many people. I heard so many people, we're not mentally tough, we're not this and that, we're not ill prepared. But we've got to touch on this, we've got to ask these questions, because when you look at that, what's happening, it's the scenarios of the same. Should we be in a better position before we reach this crunch time? And I think it's only open for discussion. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
One thing I could also add, and Coach, you could add to it as well. A few years ago, when we were really, really successful, the men made it to the Nations League. You guys won the B division and everything. You had a mental coach with you. You had somebody that worked with the national program. Now we don't have that. So now coaches almost got to be that mental person and still try to get a team ready at the national level. And I think that's something as small as that. As having somebody else to do that part, I think has made and makes a big difference in our program.
Absolutely. Martin is a huge miss. I still have to use him personally, when things are kind of going left. But, I saw Mr. Davis's comment just now, and I can tell you that not one of my players went on that field without any guts. Now, one of my players went out on that field and just went through the emotions. They put it all out there. They left it all out there. Uh, you know, quite a few not well, but still left it all out on the field. We had a player who, once they left the field, passed out completely and had to be transported to the hospital. So you cannot tell me that my players did not have any guts or did not have any heart when it came down to that last match, because I can tell you now that every last one of them that was on that field gave everything that they had. Sometimes we're just not good enough. And the team we played against was probably better. And we have to accept that. And we work harder to get better. We work harder for the next one. Mark my words, regardless of whether I'm the coach or who's the coach, this team will win their group next year this time. So please, now's not the time to start coming down on us or looking for what went wrong. This is a team that went 11 games undefeated, lose one game, and now all of a sudden, everything's wrong. Stop it. Stay behind these women. Stay behind them. You know, and I'll be honest, I've received a lot more encouragement than I have discouragement. So, you know, we're well aware that not everybody that's around you is for you. We're okay with that. But at the end of the day, please do not say that our players went on the field without a winning mentality, not wanting to get the job done, because that's so far from the truth. I will stand behind my players and I will support them 150%.
Well done, Coach. Well done. I just said a question to be next. Well done, Coach. Well said. And remember, in terms of the pool you got to pick from, what you got to work with, these people in and out of the country, just like the national program, transition for where we're going to the next level it's all matters. And you answered it very well, considering it. But people ask you, what do you blah blah blah. That anyway. The point that I'm saying is that it's good that we could answer these, have a discussion about it, and you know, that people can call you and talk to me and see you on the street, blah blah blah. Just person. But I'm saying in the context of the whole thing about, that's why I asked the question about the cricket team, the men's national team, and the women's team. What we're lacking, why don't we get to that next level? And you put it right, Coach. I mean, you know, all we got to do is just keep behind the programs and see, well, we can't give up, but we're going to a next, you know, what we're trying to do for this country. And I think you're doing a wonderful job. You've done a wonderful job. And people will,
I think also people have to understand too, we went and played against Dominican Republic. I don't know, do they have like 10 million people in that country? I have no clue. But our team is homegrown.
Yes.
You know, these are girls that's from Bermuda. They have more English-speaking players on their team than Spanish-speaking players. So their players are coming out of UK, US, Canada, and there's you can't think about that. 10 million people to choose from. In the stands, when we played Dominican Republic, it was 700 people in the stands. We played the other day, before the whistle blew, I was able to count the number of people in the stands. It was 75 people in the stands. Once the game started, some more came in. But when I tell you that we are a solid nation, we are a strong nation, we are continuously climbing. All right. And we're going to catch some fish. People look at Bermuda and want to come and play. People want to come and play. But these girls that have worked hard, tirelessly for years, not just 1 year, they didn't just meet each other, one or two maybe, but these girls have grown from under 15s to now. And so, you know, it's a great feeling, you know, and I told them at the end of the match, feel this. It's okay to feel it. You got Dominican outside screaming and hollering. Guys, when they scored the second goal, they let off fireworks. Took everything in me not to pull my team on the field because it's hardly disrespectful. It was still 10 minutes in the match. But my players had to absorb that. 3 minutes of fireworks. The refs didn't even know what to do. and the fireworks was right over the field, right? Yeah, they planned for that success, and that's okay. But understand that our girls have had to go through and dig deep a lot to get to where they got to. And I couldn't be more proud of any team that I've ever coached because it hurt. Not one player was okay with what happened on Tuesday, and they felt it for a while. So
that's what I'm saying, kiddo. Coach, I'm saying I'm sure the cricketers felt like that against Canada, down in French Guyana, down in Montserrat or Martinique, they felt like that. But I'm thinking if all these people talking to me, something on the street, blah, 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 dash. Anyway, the point is the questions, at least we are asking the questions. We're having a discussion about it. And, Earl and Coach, at least we're having a discussion with people talk about that stuff. You're coming on being honest. And I think that, again, with all these people I talk to, and they're saying, hey, you need to talk about this on the show. Yeah, about that. But I think it's that we're putting the work in, we're going somewhere. But we're a small country. And so these things will happen, right? And I'm only giving kudos to the fact that this show, it's got to be an example of having the questions asked. Yeah. And I think that's what's most important. Because remember, if you go back 5 or 6 years when we lost, nobody had a discussion about it. The people talking on the street. Now people can put in their voice and opinion. And ask you, Keita, ask your coach and
anybody can ask me anything. I'm very transparent. Anybody can see me on the street, and I prefer that. I'm not got time to hear someone ask somebody else why I made a decision. That person may not know. But if you want to know, you can ask me. And I may have made a wrong decision, but it's okay. Ten Hag makes the bad decisions every week. He gets paid $1.7 million a year. I don't get paid that. You understand what I'm saying? So you look at in Bermuda. Coaches make decisions. They put teams out on the field to do the job. It don't get done. It's okay because you felt within your soul, in your heart, that these are the players that's going to go and do the job. Yeah. And sometimes it's just you think North Village didn't think that they was going to beat Social Club today? Of course they did. But look what the results,
But I'm glad before I know, we're going on,
but I'm saying I was gonna go have a dinner. I had mine before the show.
No, but your show produces, that's why I love it, because your show produces these questions. Like there's stuff on the show, but the point is, at least they have the voices to be heard, and we can have a discussion about that, even if we're wrong. I mean, but at least it's a discussion that I will hear about tomorrow and about.
But you know what it is? There's always going to be somebody that disagrees with somebody's point. There's always going to be somebody that disagrees with a point.
Locally, Earl. What do you reach out to coaches locally? We sit here. I don't go and watch the games a lot of the time, right? Yes. So, do we have coaches on island that's willing to come onto the show and talk us through something?
I tell you what, and some well publicly they'll say that no, but some don't want to come only because if only they lose, some of them don't like to talk when they lose.
Oh, okay.
So you know what I mean? There's some coaches I've asked to come, and speak about your team or and not necessarily that particular day, but what they're doing.
Yes. But then Coach Ten Hag don't have that mentality. He's never talk.
It's a policy for them to talk after the game. They have to be there for 5 minutes and talk.
But exactly. And that's paramount in terms of where we're going, because I think, and Earl and Coach Keita, I think it's paramount that we can have these discussions with them, because we have to put these questions to them. What was your thought? What do you do? And I think because they've never been introduced to this question and answer period, they don't know what to do. So, what are you really doing about this? And I think a lot of them get offended, but it's honesty, because we're trying to build this country so that we can ask the question, when you're doing something wrong as a coach and it's not working, then what else you got? So we need to ask these questions. And I think it's most important that we can have these discussions without, because people are not going to like us, whatever, it's going to happen. but we have to have the discussions so our country can benefit from it.
Oh yes, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, that's one of the things that open talk is one of the things that I think we need to be better at, and having those conversations just about what makes your team successful, why is your team struggling this year? You know, are you planning for next year? What is your, just the basics. And I think a lot of the, especially the coaches in Bermuda, like to keep a lot of stuff close to their chest. So that's the type of things that, once we get over that part, sharing information, understanding information. I don't think she will want to. Well, she might change teams now.
I won't watch football though. I just won't watch football first.
All she's got to do is point out that what is it? View live, whatever whatever United Wear put up.
Not a chance.
I just think that in all in all, we are now we're questioning people's quality, coaching, the knowledge, and I think it's the right way for this country to go. These type of conversations we need to have, and it's gonna sometimes gonna be. Well, I'm getting. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm heard that so much more. But the point is, at least we're having the discussion with people, which is most important. That's why I enjoy the show. And thank you very much, Coach. Explaining to people about this. That's why when they ask a question about that, about the 3 challenges that we've faced in the last couple of months, and we're not been successful. But at least we're having a discussion about it.
But we know where we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. Yeah. If those 3 scenarios come up again next year, I'll guarantee you at least 2 out of the 3 will be different results.
Right. Okay, I'll put next month's paycheck on it. I'm gonna tell you they're gonna be different.
Yeah, the players will have been through the scenario.
Yes,
the pressure that they felt, the emotion that they felt, they'll be able to handle it a lot different. As well as the coaches, because remember, it's a team, and everybody will have said, you know what, we went through this last year. This is where we made the minor errors in whatever preparation, playing, whatever. But to be different, because now they'll have that bit in their mouth to say, we're not going to let this happen again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the modern game wants immediate results, right? And this is why I say to with Dandytown, I honestly think that Dandytown has a sustainable plan in place. But what we see right now is the results that they're getting, and the Bermuda way is to count them out. But my mind doesn't work like that, because I understand processes. I understand sustainability, right? I understand building something to look back on and say, remember when this was the case? You know what I mean? Remember when this was the case? I could say, remember when we lost 9-1 to Jamaica? Some of these same girls that's playing. Right. You understand? Nia Leilani was in that team. Emily Cabral, Zamara. These girls were in that team that lost 9-1 to Jamaica in 2020.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and so at the end of the day, you look back on that and now you look forward. And you say that was just part of the process.
Very good, Coach. And I think I'm going to add it to this before we finish. I remember in Norfolk when we were almost demoted, when we got a game of damage rack. It was almost a scenario. Good players, tired, whatever was going on there. But I think Dandytown's going through the same thing. Or maybe let's ask a question: because the club, they've been part of the club for years. You know what Dandytown is? It's really a community club, right? That means a lot when they have their own club. Look when they had over there before. They were what they want. Now they're without. So those questions could be asked. And the other question I want to ask about Dandytown is: are there too many old players there? Are they really got what really needs to be at that level now? And this question is a question to be answered or asked about the coaching staff, because I've heard things about Dankins now, and I'm heard some real. I'm like, whoa, that don't make no sense to me. But anyway,
watching Dandytown beat Cougars, and Jabri's mad at me. Cougars manager's mad at me. He's my video analyst on the national team, and I tell him, Ton is gonna beat Cougars. Oh, Morgan, trust me. But at the end of the day, it's a process for them. just as everything else. But the modern game wants immediate results.
The problem is a process for them. I'm saying, again, repeat myself about this. I've been through it in Norwich. Sometimes it's tiredness, it's a whole lot of those scenarios. But then you talk about the God, it don't seem like it's like to make it good, and they're losing to X. It don't seem right. But anyway, we're gonna find out what's really going on. Trust me, it's gonna come to the surface. And the things we pointed at people, but at least, again, bless you all, at least we are asking the questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, guys, thank you very much for tonight. We'll be on next week Sunday. Yeah, next week Sunday. With another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Everyone, season's greetings.
Thank you. Thank you. You as well.